Welcome to Evolution video series, Patient Medications and Prescribing. Brand-only medication prescribing. Please note, the following functionality will be immediately effective for BPAC RX prescribing customers. For MIMS customers, this functionality will activate following the MIMS March 2021 monthly drug update being run. Prescribers will be aware certain medications must be prescribed by brand due to the fact that alternative generic equivalents will act differently. To ensure this process is adhered to, brand-only medications will be indicated within the drug search module, and the ability to prescribe them generically is not permitted. This feature applies to both MIMS and BPAC RX drug formularies, where the generic button or the OK button, when a generic medication is selected in the search results, becomes inactive, which is indicated on the screen. The OK button here is inactive. The brand-only search is active. This is also indicated when moving the mouse over the OK button. This change is in line with the Health Quality and Safety Commission New Zealand guidelines for the application of specified brand advice within electronic systems. Please note, for MIMS prescribing, the above feature in relation to the buttons being active or not is also applied to force the selection of a flavour when applicable. This is current functionality and will remain, but because these are not typically flagged as brand-only prompts, the prompt will not display. Controlled drug printing. Important note, the following functionality will only be effective following the May 2021 drug update for both drug formularies, namely BPAC RX and MIMS, dependent on which is currently in use within your practice. Controlled drugs can now be distinguished at drug classification level to allow B and C classifications to be indicated in the drug setup module within the More tab, as indicated on the screen. As indicated here, controlled drug, in this instance, B3. On behalf of the NZEPS and MedSafe, we have applied changes which now separate B controlled drugs from C controlled drugs on separate e-prescriptions automatically rather than having to perform this manually. As you can see here, C5, B3. This feature is only applicable to NZEPS activated prescribers, as other prescribers must use the manual triplicate form for controlled drugs. When prescribing a range of drug classifications at the same time, up to 3 separate prescriptions may be generated when the print button is selected, as indicated below, because these are two different classifications. In addition, the controlled drug classification is now indicated within the daily record, as shown here. The e-prescription without a controlled drug is signature exempt for NZEPS prescribers, and this is printed on the prescription, provided the person printing the prescription is NZEPS activated. Controlled drugs are not currently signature exempt and require a signature of the authorised prescriber. When a controlled drug is prescribed, this is now indicated to the prescriber as shown in the screen. Important note: if you are a non-NZ EPS prescriber, then the ability to print a controlled drug is now suppressed, as these products can only be prescribed using the handwritten triplicate form. However, a controlled drug can still be recorded within the daily record, just not printed. Printed prescription format changes. Important note: the following functionality will only be effective following the March 2021 drug update for both drug formularies, namely BPAC RX and MIMS, dependent on which is currently in use within your practice. A number of changes have been applied to the printed prescription format, which include moving of the barcode to help avoid it being tampered with. A large singular letter may be now included at the top right-hand side of the prescription. Which letter is printed is based on the following rules. B is printed if the prescription contains Class B controlled drugs. C is printed if the prescription contains Class C controlled drugs. S is printed if the prescription contains Section 29 drugs. O is printed if the prescription contains oral contraceptive drugs, which is being moved from its current location.